What's up, and welcome back to the Horror Honda. This is where I sit in my beat-up Honda and ramble about horror movies with absolutely zero production value. And we have a new addition to the Horrible Honda. No AC, no power steering, all that good stuff that you've already learned about. But as of today, you can't see because of my headrest, I have a shattered rear window. It is now covered in duct tape. My tent's holding it together. Duct taped it up. Got hit by the fine folks at the city doing some yard work. Rock came up, shattered my window. So that's just a new addition to the Horrible Honda, baby. But, it's a symbol for life. Stuff can start cracking and breaking, and maybe it's not the prettiest, but god damn it, do you get where you need to get to? Praise God. Let's go. But it is kind of a pain. I got to get that fixed. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But today, we're going to talk about a little film that I checked out that I went in knowing nothing about, completely clueless, and it blew my balls off. BMBB, dude. BMBO. Fucking bimbo, dude. Blew my balls off when I saw this movie, and that is Immaculate. And it has everything going for it that I personally like in a horror movie. It has to give a rundown, a nun is going to not a monastery, that's not right. Maybe that is right. Commune? Whatever. A nun is going to a nun party with all these other nuns to live in this nun house. And she's there, and a bunch of weird shit starts happening with these people around her and the way they treat her, and before you know it, shit starts going haywire. And that's pretty a sum up of every possession movie or movie with a nun in it, which is honestly what I thought this was going to be. But if you are someone who is over the pray for the devil or whatever it was called, or just possession movies, horror movies, nun movies, priest movies, and it's the same typical A, B, C plot, this one is not that. It has little moments of it, and I'll touch on it in a sense, but I'm telling you as a whole, this is not that same wavelength. So don't think it's just another cut and dry possession, exorcist, demon, nun film, anything like that. It has a style that I care for and that I like a lot, which I find, and as if you heard other previous episodes, the first horror movies I saw were The Exorcist and The Omen, and they have a big church influence in them, and so I think that triggered my brain and rewired it, where I find that setting so unnerving. And it's weird, it's like a weird juxtaposition, where it's a place of love and care and faith and supposed to be better ideals, yet it's so to me every time I see it, because it's such an awkward environment for that to be in. So it has that atmosphere that's very dark and dreary, and you really do feel like you are a part of this. I'm going to say monastery, but I don't think that's the right word. Of a monastery that is not all there. It's not wholly feeling. It feels like there's something going on there. And the biggest part that builds the atmosphere in this movie, if you like dark and dreary, think kind of like The Witch or The Omen, or I'm using The Omen as more of like the religious side, but like The Witch as the dark, dreary, it just feels kind of unnerving. This, with the soundscape that they put with this movie, the sounds, the score, it builds on this, and it's just even subtle at points, where it's just subtly little snaps or clicks or sounds. And then there's big, bombastic violins and horror sounds and everything at climaxes and big points, that the sound really drags you into this world, just like the imagery. So you don't get one without the other. It's a 1-2 punch that makes you engulfed by this atmosphere. And it's not even a slow build. The movie kind of gets started with the plot, and as it gets going, you're thinking, here we go, typical nun church movie. We're going to have some cheesy possession. We're going to have some crosses flipping upside down. Blah, 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 blah. Fucking let's go. Absolutely not. When this hits the second act, things get very loose, and this third act will divide people. I don't think there will be a middle ground with this third act. I think you will love it, or you will be so repulsed by this third act that you will not watch this movie again. I think you will recommend it to people, or you will never put it, I almost said in a DVD player like y'all are doing that anyways. You will never stream it, you'll never recommend it at all. And that's the kind of movies I like. It is very divisive. It will, one way or the other, your skin will crawl, but will your skin crawl for the better or for the fuck this, I'm never watching this again? And that's where it makes a difference. Kind of like how all possession movies were pretty similar. You had one or two decent ones that weren't The Exorcist, in my opinion. At least if they weren't decent, you might like that style, but they're clearly very cut and dry possession movies. Whereas The Last Exorcism kind of flipped the script on it and added something new to that genre of possessions. This movie adds a new twist to that with church scenes and things like that. It's kind of leaning towards one way as it starts, and it completely twists. And I'm telling you, it's dark, it's twisted. There's not a lot of jump scares. They try for jump scares, and it's a little more, traditional jump scare. They kind of threw the flair in there that you get in church movies or shots where they walk out of frame and now they walk back and there's something there. So you have these typical things, but you have these atypical movements in the background. You'll be looking right at the focus straight ahead, something really out of focus going on behind you that you can see it and sense it. This movie, if you like church again, possession movies, nun movies, priest movies, anything to that effect, this one takes that idea, ramps up the atmosphere, and flips the plot on its head. And it will leave you stunned in your seat, either praising this or hating this. And I had never heard, I've heard the name Sydney Sweeney a lot. If you put her in a lineup, I could have not told you who she was. I have no idea. She could have been a fucking TikToker for all I know. I don't know. She was fucking phenomenal. And she lays it all on the line, dude. And that also that bimboed the shit out of me too. That blew my balls off. I'm telling you, the end of you have to watch this movie to get to the end. Because the end is going to be what fucking changes you. It's going to make you pick a side. There's a line in the sand at that ending. And when Sydney Sweeney bimboed me at the end and blew my balls off with how hard in the fucking paint she goes. I mean, the last 3 minutes. Oh, I was in love with this movie. It had the elements. It had the plot. It had the twist. It had it all. I recommend this movie. Give it a shot. You're either going to like it or you're going to despise it. But put it down in the comments if you have seen it. No spoilers. Just say if you liked the ending, if you didn't like the ending, what you liked, what you didn't like. Do not spoil it. If you haven't seen it, go fucking watch it. Because I'm telling you, it's going to divide you. It's going to divide you. And tell me, did it BMBO, dude? Did it, or BYBO? Blew my balls off. Yeah, blow your balls off would be Bibo. Did it Bibo you, dude? Tell me if it Biboed, because it bimboed me without a fucking doubt. So let me know what you think. But if you liked the ending of this movie, just put blew my balls off. And I guess if you're a young gal, young or old, of age and older, fucking clarify that now. You could say, what would be blow my balls off, blow my BMTO, BIMTO, blew my tits off. You can pick any female body part that you want, I guess. It's up to you. Just, have fun with it. You know what? I said blew my balls off. You could say fucking blew my taint off if you want. Blew my ass off. Whatever you could. Hell, you could be a woman and say blew my balls off. That's why you're a woman now. I don't care. But dude, I'm telling you, that movie blew my balls off. This was too long of a rant for this, but you know what? It's just who I am. Just who I am. That's what the Horror Honda does, man. We sit in Texas with no AC, sweating it out in here, window busted, ranting about horror movies. That's, honestly, dude, this is like my favorite part of my day. As stupid as it is. I'll have 8 views on this and 2 comments, and one of them will probably tell me to go fucking kill myself or something. And I'm just like, can't wait to record the next one. I'm really enjoying it. It could be the sweating and the heat exhaustion from being in this car. But, dude, hey, maybe this way. It's my own personal sauna. This is my own little sauna where I get to chat it out to the world It's great. Some would say it's Immaculate, not Immaculate. Go check the movie out, dude. I rambled too long. It is what it is. That's what happens with the Horror Honda with no production value. I'm not going to edit it out, baby! Let's go. You guys are the best. Like, subscribe, do everything all the YouTubers tell you to do. Peace.